Hey everybody, Alex here, Out of the Park 23, Pittsburgh Pirates franchise, episode number 29, and we are getting ready for opening day here in 2032, scheduled to play the Milwaukee Brewers at Milwaukee. Before we do that, let's talk about the offseason recap for your Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates have made three primary trades in the offseason. Three former Pirates now, guys, that were on, at least in part, the big league roster last year, now pitching for other organizations. The first one here is Asa Lacy, who was one of my best trades ever. I got him from Kansas City in 2024. He was really a failed pitcher there, and I pull up the correct pitching stats here. Did he ever pitch in the majors for KC? I guess not, but he had struggled, as you see here, even in Double-A. He became much more of a reliever for me after early on kind of trying to get some starts, but was a great reliever for us. 325 games, appearances, a 3.41 ERA, just really rock solid. But I felt, even though last year's numbers were a career best for him, a 178 ERA plus, the BABIP was unusually low, and he struggled late in the year, and his control has started to come down. And so maybe that was a little quick to make this decision, but I figured I want to get out from him potentially regressing pretty hard. So he's now an Arizona Diamondback, and in return, there was a pretty hefty trade here of us trading multiple players, kind of a organizational depth pitcher, Tony Maldonado, who I think they liked. Obviously, there's not a whole lot to note here. Lacy's kind of still the centerpiece. Also traded Tabor Fast, who was then left unprotected by Arizona and then poached by Boston in the Rule 5 draft. So that was a guy that, had been a decent player for us. Got him from the Jared Jones deal, kind of a wash for both sides. I think both teams a bit disappointed, I should say, from what they got. For us in Pittsburgh, a 110 WRC plus, but we kind of have some better bats in the lineup now, and so moved fast with Lacy, and in return, getting Eddie Rojas, a prospect reliever with good stuff and potential overall, 21 years old, only in rookie ball. He'll be an A-ball for us to start the year, and he'll be a little bit to hopefully come up. And then Federico Figueroa is a guy that hopefully will be here a little bit sooner. Never been above high A ball. He'll start in Double-A Altoona for us. And so a couple of relievers, as our relievers and bullpens getting older. And so we're thinking about future replacements there. So that's the first trade. The second trade, and I kind of mentioned, I think, a lot of these in my last video. Nick Dial, former first-round pick of the Pirates, just some better outfield guys, and wanted to make a move here. He had been decent for us, I think, getting better, and he lands in a good spot in Colorado. I think he'll have success there. So the trade here, a little bit more simple. I usually do these multi prospect deals. A 2-for-1, Dial going to Colorado. In return, us Pittsburgh getting Orlando Ortiz, a starting pitcher, very good in 10 starts last year in Double-A for Colorado with a 2.94 ERA, and then also shortstop Mike Jones. Mike Jones, that's his name. That's my terrible joke, and he's not gonna probably ever make it to the majors, but there's some versatility, and he can play defense, and so I shouldn't say he will never make it, or almost certainly won't make it. He's 20, and he's got some versatility, so that was the acquisition. The last trade here is maybe the best player we dealt away, Nathaniel Herrera, and we Rule 5 selected him from St. Louis, and I quickly found out why he was unprotected, because for whatever reason, he has an outspoken personality, but I kept getting this message last year repeatedly where he would make comments after losing. The clubhouse wouldn't like it. I would have to either do nothing and take my chemistry or suspend him, and this just kept happening. It felt like a bug or a glitch, but I can't really risk it happening again. And he was fantastic. There were 2.13 ERA, almost a 200 ERA plus last year in 51 appearances, but Just not worth the headache of him being unavailable and being suspended if that is going to continue. And so the deal here was trading Herrera, in addition to trading away Henry Powell, a pretty versatile corner outfielder with, some interesting traits. I think the eye discipline there is worth mentioning. And in return, getting back this reliever who really, probably will be almost nothing for us, but I thought high movement, ground ball pitcher, high intelligence. Yes, he's got the low work ethic. He was good last year in rookie ball. It's a total dart throw of dart throws, but there's that. The biggest piece getting back, though, is Manny Garibay, and he's going to basically be our new Nick Dial. I think the bat is pretty equivalent. Defensively, he's strong, a good base runner, and he'll make not his debut. He was up for 3 games in 2030 with the Mets, spent all of 2031 last season in AAA, putting up a 2.5 WAR season. Not tremendous numbers overall, but he should, I think, hit for decent power, some doubles, and he's cheaper and younger than Nick Dial as well. So those are the 3 key deals we made. Not groundbreakers, obviously, but pretty notable moves. So who else have we added? There is one name, or really I should say one name returning. I want to welcome back Nick Mears to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I probably paid him too much money, which is something I don't generally do as these small market Pirates. It's a 3-year deal worth $34 million. Now there is a team opt-out in 2034 when he'll be 37. It was hard to get these relievers. I was trying to bring back either former Pirates reliever in Mears and Andrew Schultz, and Schultz signed somewhere, and something unfortunate happened to him with the Dodgers, and then he tore his UCL, and so he's had now 2 major arm injuries, a torn rotator cuff in 2028, had a setback, basically missed 2 years, and then came back, pitched pretty well, didn't regress, and now he's got the UCL at 34, and the Dodgers paid him more than what I was paying Nick Mears, and so unfortunate for him. But focusing on Mears, there's a no trade clause here as well, promised to be a closer. There's also a buyout. I didn't see that. I forgot about that, I should say, with the team option in year 3. $3.5 million, that's nothing to shake a stick at. So it's a deal that I'm probably going to regret at some point, but dude can still pitch. Now, last year was not fantastic for the Cardinals. He was about league average, a bit below, but I'm confident he's going to get back to being the player that he was for us. And we look at his major league stats here, a 127 ERA plus, and almost 350 appearances for the Pirates. So welcome back, Nick Mears. I'll walk through the lineups here briefly. A lot of youngsters have come up. Probably most notable is Jason Moten, a former second-round pick, a draft pick, homegrown kid. He's going to be up as a backup catcher, wearing an awkward number 70, but he's going to rotate with Kader Rombide. The arm is not great. Everything else, though, is really interesting, even the positional ratings of catcher ability and catcher, the position. And so he had a good spring. He replaces Rene Lasters, who will be in AAA. We are losing some of our leaders and captains from a year ago, but we still have some guys here, and the bats are just too good. Jose Pena, number 19 prospect in baseball. I'm worried about the low contact avoid case, but he kind of has a Joey Gallo, Bryce Harper vibe to him, with a high eye and good home run power, fly ball hitter, and really strong defensively with versatility. And so he's a guy that's going to, not going to start, and some could argue he should be starting. There'll be an opportunity there potentially, but he's going to play in a lot of places, first base, third base, probably DH some. I mean, he's going to move around, pinch hit, and so there should be plenty of at-bats for him. Ke'Bryan Hayes, I should show that. I'd mentioned this last time too, that he was not going to return. He signed with the Yankees, which is such a classic Pirates thing, the old joke of you get a player and then eventually you're just, saving and developing him to get traded to the Yankees. Of course, we re-signed Ke'Bryan Hayes, had a great career with the Pirates, but 35 years old, and the dude got paid. 4-year deal, $86.4 million. There was a vesting option at age 38 with his fragile proneness. They probably won't actually end up having to pick that up, but I just could not pay that money for a guy that was fragile and a good player, but not overwhelmingly good to be worth, $20 million plus. So Fan support certainly took a hit there. Replacing Hayes is Alex Amaya, former second-round pick. Again, homegrown, kids coming up this year. Good gap power, strong defensively. The bats, last year, 93 WRC plus in AAA. How good is it going to be in the majors? If he's like an 80 WRC plus, I'd probably take that. The gap power should help, though. Other names here, again, Garibay's going to be up, pinch run, backup center fielder behind Drew Jones. Those are probably the most notable names here. Alex Anaya. We have the Alex Amaya and Alex Anaya. Say that many times, as I will try to do so throughout this series. He got a cup of coffee last year. Wasn't very good, but the bat looks too good. He's very versatile. Not great at any one spot. Corner outfield is probably where he's best, but second base he can play, and emergency third and short. So bringing him up and seeing what he can do. He is 25 years old, so he's really got to sink or swim right now. Pitching staff is virtually the same in terms of the starters. The question here is Sal Medina, how good he can be. And the Dylans last year were underwhelming, and Dylan Questad, a former 5th-round pick of us in 2023, he had signed, actually he's not signed to a long-term deal. It was the other Dylan Lesko, and he was about the same really as Questad last year. So hoping these guys can have better years. Of course, Woquan Bell, very good last year, and Christopher Cruz, the ace of the staff, remains and returns. Nick Mears, as we mentioned, Alberto Guerrero seems to be falling off. I just saw his velocity dip and the stuff fall pretty hard, and so I don't know how that's going to last for him. Rafael Feliz had a really bad last year, a lot of poor luck, home run rate way too high, the BABIP was super, super high, although I guess it wasn't that much higher than 2030. What's his BABIP like? Career 317, it was 357. Yeah, I don't know. The home run rate, though, was too high. I just think he got a lot of bad luck last year. The peripherals, besides that, were decent. What was his FIP minus last year? It was 90, which is about in line of where he's been. So his FIP last year was 377. His Sierra was 293. So I think he just had a lot of bad luck throughout the entire season. I think he got hurt too last year. Nothing major overall. A couple of minor things. So I think he'll bounce back. Beckway's been very good for us. Another really strong trade from the Yankees. What do we ever give up for Beckway? That was for a rental on Simmons there, who's been long retired. Luke Robertson returns. Robier Salinas was, a trade acquisition last year. Terrible. Did not have a tremendous spring. I tried to demote him, but he's a 10-5 guy, and so he refused to be demoted. We're going to try it, but the leash will be pretty short on him. And a couple of lefties to help replace Herrera and Lacey. We don't have many lefties in this system. It is, I think, one flaw, but Brandon Clark had a good spring. His controls bumped up. He's been on and off the team, 8 appearances last year, and we did have another trade I should have mentioned here. I got to backtrack on this one. Matt Cronin, a lefty coming in from Baltimore. We'll pull up his stats here. Yeah, career 2.75 ERA and over 200 innings, 157 WRC plus. Actually, is a bit worse against lefties than righties if you look at the splits here, but should still be strong overall. And then in terms of the trade, I actually kind of forgot what we gave up for him. Gave up Sabin Sabalos, who was very good at high A ball. Now he's old, and so I guess it's not a shock he was kind of raking. He was Cronin was on the trade block, I'm almost positive of, and then giving up this first baseman who was not really playing for us. So, was that the most equitable deal? Like, Cronin was on the trade block. Maybe I should have given up a bit more, but that's what Baltimore wanted, and so that's what they got. We'll quickly look at some preseason predictions. You look at the AL here. Look at the Central, the winner, quote-unquote, a tie at 81 and 81 for both the White Sox and the Guardians. Very parity-based Central prediction there. See the top hitters and pitchers. I'll pause if you want to screenshot that for posterity. And in the NL, it's the Phillies, the Brewers, with 94 wins. We're projected to have just 76. And Colorado and San Diego, a good race out west. Not as usual. We never really have any of the top hitters or top pitchers. So we're playing Milwaukee here, and they're going to be the team to beat. Man, they've taken so many guys I wanted to draft and just turned them into studs. We'll look at them more in depth here in a second, but come on, I really wanted Tony Tovar so bad, and they got, where's the other guy? Oh, he's in their farm system right now. I can probably pull him up because I know I showed this, but it still burns me up. But who's their top prospect here? Yeah, Tyrese Wright is just, ridiculous. He just got drafted last year. He came off the board like 3 spots. I'm still mad about it, and he's going to be a stud. I mean, their lineup looks ridiculous. Their pitching staff's got maybe a couple of question marks there, but anyway, I think that probably covers our offseason. Again, we're never that aggressive or overhauling things. It's just not the Pirates way, for better or for worse, and it's generally been for worse. One last thing I'll do here is take a quick look at our top prospects. Those guys are always fun to look at. Jose Pena will soon lose his prospect badge, but he is our top, or actually number 2 prospect, top batter. Got a international signing. Those guys, you never know what's going to happen there. Danny Ortega, I should probably say, number 93 prospect. I think our farm system is number 6 in baseball. Anaya is now officially up. Last year's first-round pick, Chris Bills, our number 9 prospect. Moten, number 13, he's up. Garibay, number 17, he's up. I still am interested in the likes of Jaden Murdoch, and Julian Williams has fallen off some, but there's still potential in that bat. One guy to look for in the future, Jonas Figueroa, really excited by him. I think he's a well-rounded guy. Never going to be an ace, but a number 3 to number 5 type of guy. And you see Orlando Ortiz making our list of top prospects as well in that top 30. All right, getting ready for opening day. We'll take a look at the lineups here for your Pittsburgh Pirates on the road here for this game against Milwaukee. Justin Best will lead off. I'll click through the names just very briefly. Kaimani Morris in the number 2 hole. Rowan Kelly, he's kind of regressed, but the dude still hits, so he'll hit number 3. Delphin Ramirez, our cleanup hitter. Dean Moss in the 5 hole, got red hot last year. We'll see if he can continue that. Drew Jones back in center field. And I've already shown you guys Alex Amaya. There is Cade Arambide, the veteran. By our standards, we'll get the look over Moten, and Ricardo Cabrera will hit against righties. There'll be a platoon at second base between Anaya. Alex Anaya will be the platoon lefty second baseman. Cabrera righties. Luis Morales has been sent down in a surprise move. And Christopher Cruz on the bump for the Pirates. And for Milwaukee, their lineup is big and scary, led by Corbin Carroll, Devin Spence. I read that with an extra E in there. There is Tony Tovar, who's going to make me cry. Ellie De La Cruz in this universe now with Milwaukee, as opposed to tearing it up with Cincinnati. Luis Urias. Number 5 hitter, Antonio Anderson, very good defensive shortstop. Curtis Mead, maybe one of their weaker battles, but famous last words to be said there. Same with Josiah Scales, but defensively he's strong. And Arturo Rodriguez behind the plate can also pitch, and did pitch some last year, so we'll see what we get from him. Starting pitcher a little bit weaker in Chris Mokma, 33 starts last year for the Brew Crew, about league average, and so maybe that's something we can take advantage of. His contract, though, is above average, so, and he's never missed a Wordle, so important note there on Chris Mokma. Let's take you out to American Family Field for opening day 2032. And welcome back to baseball. 2032 opening day. The Pirates gotta make the playoffs, gotta get back in this thing. We'll start this thing off. Justin Best will lead off our season against Chris Mokma. Milwaukee, the favorites here, and so I'm really thinking, obviously I want to win the division, but wild card might be our ticket. But Justin Best starting us off with a leadoff single to center. And so that is how the season will begin. Kaimani Morris, very good with the bat last year, will hit this into left. Left fielder coming in, has a good chase, but there is Corbin Carroll making the grab. Rowan Kelly, who won the NL batting title 2 years ago, average fell last year. That one grounded to second, and they will turn 2 to erase the best single. Will go bottom 1 in this scoreless game. Christopher Cruz, who I should mention last year, I always forget some of these things. He was, it should be, second in the Cy Young race. I forget who finished first. I think it might have been one of the Brewers pitchers, somebody who was clearly deserving of it, but You want to mention that. So Cruz will face Carroll behind 3-1. That one hit to third. Morris throwing on to Ramirez for out number 1 on the Pirates pitching side to begin the year. Very scary lineup at the top. You got to limit the damage here, as that's back-to-back ground balls hit to third. This time a bit closer of a play, but Morris at third. Some debuts today. Alex Amaya at short making his debut. Jason Moten his first career game. And there is Tony Tovar, man of the hour, guy I've talked about so much. In this one, all kept in the infield. That one rolled to second. Cabrera had some trouble with it, but made the throw in time to Ramirez for out number 3. We'll go top 2, still scoreless. And it's Delfin Ramirez, one of the captains of this team that has lost some leadership. And so that'll be important, but at some point, the bats have to overcome the clubhouse kumbaya. And that last year we had a really good clubhouse and still did not get us over the hump. As Ramirez will ground out for out number 1. Dean Moss, who had a 3-home run game last year, that one's going to be fired past into right field, past the first baseman. And so Pirates with 2 hits, they're 2 singles. Drew Jones acquired from Detroit, 0-2 count. That one smacked well into left, over the left fielder's head. Carroll Moss will round second, come into third, and he will come home as Jones will look for third. He'll dig, and he is out. A little over aggressive from Jones, but that will score Moss from first, so it's a double. And then Jones thrown out at third. Pirates get the first run of the season, leading Milwaukee 1-0. They say you shouldn't make the first or third out at third. That was the second, so I guess that was a time to be aggressive, but it was cut off by Milwaukee, and they got Jones at third. But Pittsburgh up a run, and that is for Alex Amaya to make his MLB debut as a batter. Aggressive early. Here's the pitch, and this one is going to be hit into center, and it is a first career at bat, first career hit for Alex Amaya, the former second-round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Roll that ball into the dugout, and that one's going home with Amaya. As Kader Rombide will come in, former first-round pick catcher, 0-2 count, and that's the first strikeout of the season for either side, and so that'll get Milwaukee out of the inning, but thanks to Drew Jones, who drove in a run, Pittsburgh leads 1-0. Christopher Cruz will face De La Cruz, so it's Cruz on Cruz, followed by Urias and Anderson, as we're in the middle of the order for Milwaukee. 2-2 count, and Cruz will get Cruz looking. That is Christopher winning the battle of those Cruzes. Urias coming in. That one hit too short. Amaya with his first defensive play in the majors, and it all goes well. Thrown on to Ramirez, as Cruz has kept the ball in the infield, mostly to start. Anderson, full count payoff pitch, and he strikes out swinging. Maybe a bit outside, but that retires the side. We'll go top 3. Pittsburgh up 1-0. As Ricardo Cabrera, seen some progression from him. Never going to be a heavy bat, but maybe league average. And this one's hit pretty well out to center, but plenty of room there as Tony Tovar makes the catch for a stratosphere type of outnumber. What I'm just saying words at this point. Justin Best, leadoff single in his first at bat. That one hit the center this time, but this will not be on the ground. It'll be caught in the air as Tovar makes the second out, and Kaimani Morris stepping in. The pitch. This one hit well to left. Going back is Carroll at the track, and he will make the catch on the edge of the track. Thought off the crack of the bat. Might have had a chance, but it is allowed out number 3. We'll go bottom 3. Pittsburgh up 1-0. Facing Meade, Scales, and Arturo Rodriguez. 3-1 count. Cruz falling behind, and he'll walk the leadoff man, Meade. Not the strongest batter. Don't want to see that. As Scales will step in. Another full count. That went outside as well, and Cruz struggling with the control here as he's walked the first 2. As Rodriguez will come in with a good chance here for Milwaukee. This one, strike 3 on the corner. Ooh, thought that one was going to be a ball, but ump gave the... When you win a Cy Young like your Christopher Cruz, you're going to get a couple of calls your way, but tough spot here facing Carroll. 2 on, 1 out. Pittsburgh up 1-0. 2-2 count. That one's hit to first. Ramirez has it. Throws on to second. They can't turn two, but they'll get, I guess, the middle runner, not the lead runner, who's in at third. But, yeah, no double play there, as now you're facing Spence with runners on the corners. Tying run 90 feet away. Cruz will deliver. 1-2 count, and that one hit to second. Deep in the hole. Cabrera makes a nice play, though, and Cruz gets out of those first two walks from the bottom of the order. Usually comes back to bite you, but not there. As we'll go top four. Pittsburgh up 1-0 with Kelly stepping in. Mokma delivers, and this one roped hard to first, but fielded cleanly. And that is Curtis Mead making the play himself. Ramirez coming in. And that's hit well to right. Shift appeared to be on a little bit, but Ramirez finds grass out in right. So third single today for the Pirates, as Dean Moss has one of those singles today. Pittsburgh 5 hits overall. 2-0 count. That one hit to second. Can they turn it? They can't get Ramirez, but they will get, that is Moss at first. And Drew Jones, who's driven in the only run today, will step in. 2-0 count. He's got power in that bat. That one hit well past the diving third baseman, De La Cruz, and Moss for the second time. It's Jones driving in Moss. That is the way this one has worked today. And so 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and Jones was not thrown out this time. So it's really a win-win for Pittsburgh as they go up 2-0. Mokma only 36 pitches, but he's allowed 6 hits. Only struck out 1. Now facing Amaya, who has a single to start his career. He's 1 for 1 of all time. And just as I say 1 strikeout, there is the second, but Pittsburgh tacks on a run, and they now lead 2-0 as we go bottom 4. Cruz coming in. Hopefully we'll avoid those walks this time, facing Tovar. 2-1 count, and that one's going to be hit to... that one popped up right at second base, right on the base, and that was Amaya calling off Cabrera. Again, we have Alex Amaya and Alex Anaya. We have the Dillons that are the pitchers, and we have the Sals, at least when Sal Ramos is around. He's currently on the IL. Sal Medina, however you want to say it, is our number 5 pitcher. And facing De La Cruz, and it was... I almost had a quote here. I thought there was going to be a shot for De La Cruz here after Christopher struck him out the first time, but ends up being just an out to right, caught by Dean Moss. Not known for his defense. Could be some defensive subs this year with Garibay in there. Now facing Urias. 2 out, nobody on. Pittsburgh up 2-0. 0-2 count, the pitch. That one smacked to center, and Milwaukee finally records their first hit. Not their first base runner, but it is their first hit. So that was Urias to center, and that'll bring in Anderson. 0 for 1 today. And that one's hit well to right. Moss going back, and he makes the catch. That right field corner, it feels like there's some depth out there. So you really feel like off the bat, you're not quite sure if that's going to stay in the yard, but it does. And Pittsburgh retains their 2-0 lead, although Cruz loses the no-hitter. Not that it was much of a no-hitter, but still got almost through 4 innings on that, bringing up Arambide, Cabrera, and Best. As Arambide falls behind, he'll strike out swinging on the fastball at 94 up in the zone. Cabrera coming in, 2-2 count. And he matches Arambide, striking out there on another fastball. And Justin Best, 1 for 2 today. And that one jammed him inside, and Mead has it. Steps on the bag at first. We'll go bottom 5 as the game remains Pittsburgh 2, Milwaukee 0. Cruz, just as he saw 2 innings ago, facing Mead, Scales, Rodriguez. Don't want to walk anybody. He walked these guys the last time out. 3-1 count. Cruz has to attack the zone here. And that one is going to be hit past Cabrera's glove, right under it. And so struggling with these guys at the bottom of the lineup. It's going to come back and hurt him at some point here. Now facing Scales, who walked his last at bat. Now falls behind here. That one's hit to center. And who's going to have it? It will be the center fielder Jones, calling off Kelly for the first out. Now Rodriguez, 3rd round pick in 2026, drafted. A lot of hometown guys from Milwaukee. You got to respect that. Cruz deals, and he strikes out. That is the catcher there. And that'll bring up the top of the order with Corbin Carroll 0 for 2. Runner on first, 2 out. Pittsburgh up 2. As Cruz deals. And that one's hit well to right. Moss going back, and he's got it. As, again, that right field, you're just not quite sure. Some of these have looked good. Pittsburgh still up 2-0. Morris, Kelly, and Ramirez up for the Pirates here in the top half of the 6 on this 2032 opening day. I know I've gone through these seasons pretty fast because I'm just trying to get to that playoff game. Only once we've made it this whole time, and it's been a rough ride. It's been some fun seasons, some not so fun seasons, but we're trying to get there. As there's one away, and Kelly will have a single to center. That was very similar to Justin Best, who started the game. As Delfin Ramirez will come in. He's got a single today. And the pitch from Mokwa. This one hit well by Ramirez out to left. Carroll looking back, and you can light the candle. 2-run shot for Delfin Ramirez. His first of the year. 4-0-1. That had distance as the Pirates take a 4-0 lead. Delfin Ramirez, one of the power bats in this lineup, taking Chris Mokma 4-0-1 to left. Dean Moss will try to replicate that. Hit a ton of home runs, had a real crazy hot streak. In about a month last year, he was just hitting dingers. This one, though, just a ground out to second. Throw on from Scales to Mead for out number 2. And Drew Jones, who's got 2 RBIs, had the only 2 RBIs of the game before Ramirez's 2-run shot with a pair of doubles. Jones has full count, payoff pitch. And Jones maybe a bit outside, and that'll be grounded to short and retired. We'll go bottom 6 as Pittsburgh's added a pair, doubled their score, 4-0 Pittsburgh. And heart of the order, Spence, Tovar, and De La Cruz. Cruz at 76 pitches. It is opening day. You know, in spring training, we're kind of sitting at a max of 60, go about 3 innings, and so thinking about the bullpen might get warm here. I know Cruz is doing pretty well, but we're just cognizant of these arms as Cruz will strike out. That was Spence out of the zone as Spence chased it. Bring up Tovar, 0 for 2 today. Pretty aggressive early. This one floated to right. Dean Moss has had plenty of action, most of it towards the corner. This time he comes in, makes the catch for out number 2. And De La Cruz has got a strikeout and a loud out to right his last time up. Full count, payoff pitch. And that one hit well, even a louder play here. De La Cruz going back, and that is gone just over the wall. As a home run for Ellie De La Cruz. As Milwaukee gets on the board, now 4-1. That one just over that sign, that green sign in left field, left center. And Cruz will try to get out of this one, now facing Urias, who has a single today, 0-2 count. And he strikes out Urias. And so Milwaukee claws one back, still trails by 3, 4-1. That's going to be it for Christopher Cruz. Good outing, 90 pitches. That's good on opening day. 6 innings, 1 earned. That was the home run, the next to last batter that he faced. We'll check out his box score after the game. Focus on here and now. And I got to think about our bullpen. Really don't have defined roles in terms of closer. Nick Mears is our closer, so I really should say that. Getting to him is a bit more ambiguous. I want to see maybe Feliz here. If he can go an inning. Maybe a Beck Way. Maybe Beck Way should come in. Maybe you should go Way, Feliz, and then Mears. I know Feliz had that tough year last year, but we're going to have some faith. It was just one of those years, the way the baseball brings it. But let's get back to action here with Amaya, who's got a single today. And this one's going to try to get deep in the hole to short. Nice play by the shortstop. It's a great play in the hole from Antonio Anderson. Again, here for his bat here for his glove, I should say. More than the bat. Arambide 0 for 2, but Mokma behind 3-0 as he'll walk him on 4 pitches. The first walk of the day for Chris Mokma. The control's been good overall. Cabrera coming in, 2-1 count. That one a bit inside, and Carroll's chasing it back. Should stay in, and he'll make the catch comfortably in front of the warning track. Seems like a running catch, though. Animation didn't necessarily show that. Justin Best coming in as Mokma's at 86 pitches. Pitched okay today, hung in there. 2-0 count. And Best, this one to center. This one's got some distance, and it's over. Oh, it's caught by Tovar. Wow, that was very close to getting over his glove. Made a leaping catch, and that saved the run. And it's still 4-1. We'll stretch and go bottom 7. And Beck Way, former Yankee, longtime Pirate, coming in to face Anderson, Mead, and Scales. Way had a strong spring. Now it's an 0-2 count facing Anderson with that great defensive play the last inning, as it's a poor offensive play as he goes down on strikes looking. Bring up Mead, who's got a walk and a hit today. 2-2 count, the pitch, and that one swinging strikeout on the, it says SI 98. I don't think Way throws a 98 mile per hour slider. Whatever it was, it struck him out. And now Scales will come in, 0-1. And that one dribbled to Cabrera at second. Throws on to Ramirez. It's 1-2-3. As Milwaukee can't find another run, it's 4-1. We'll go top 8. Kaimani Morris stepping in. He's 0-3 today. Mokma is staying into the 8th inning. Interesting choice for an opening day when your bullpen should be good. But we'll see how long he stays in. Maybe a one mistake type of situation as Morris will... Oh, it's caught. Oh, what a grab by Scales. I'm jumping the gun here. Some new animations here. I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing here in this game that has not been updated in a year, but I'm seeing some new things. I have not gotten to play as much, I guess, in terms of playing these games out. So Morris robbed of the hit by Scales, and now Kelly will come in as Rafael Feliz starts getting warm in the pen. Mokma falling behind, that one way inside, and that might be it for Mokma. You got to think they're going to take him out. And he stays in at 95 pitches. To face Ramirez, who took him deep last time. Not sure on the choice here, but they're going to put their trust in their opening day starter, which, fair enough. As Ramirez, 2-1 count, 1 on, 1 out. And that one's hit to third, a chance to turn 2, and Milwaukee will turn it. So the trust is rewarded as Mokma gets out of it, going 8 innings here on opening day. We'll go bottom 8, Pittsburgh up 3. New pitcher coming in, it is Rafael Feliz, who's in... had a long-term deal signed with Pittsburgh. That poor year last year, but we'll see it here on opening day to face Rodriguez, and then re-rack him to the top of the order with Carroll and Spence, as Feliz will come in 2-2. Look into Arambide, who puts down the sign, and he strikes out Rodriguez, freezing on the slider, catching the corner there. But now they're facing the top guys, and Carroll looking for a hit. The top of the order's been quiet, but they're going to wake up. You just know that's how Milwaukee is wired. 1-1 count. And that one dribbled. Arambide has it, and he is able to make the throw in time, beating Carroll by a step. A little high throw. Ramirez got some height to him, makes that catch for out number 2. Now facing Spence, 2-0 count, hitters count. And that one's going to be hit well, and it should find grass. No, Moss takes it away. I have definitely jumped the gun here, as Dean Moss, not known for the defense, but makes the catch. And so a clean inning for Rafael Feliz, as we'll go top 9, as the closer for Pittsburgh, Nick Mears, will warm. In the meantime, it is Dean Moss and Drew Jones and Alex Amaya. And finally, a new pitcher coming in. I believe this is an offseason signing in Emmanuel Clace, who, yes, was in Chicago in 2030 and 2031, has been excellent. 2030 was insane, so 2031 was good. Dude throws 100 plus consistently, extreme ground ball, and he got paid this summer, 2-year deal, or 3-year deal, looks like, worth almost $45 million. So Moss will step in, maybe a pinch, not going to pinch here, but potential defensive replacement with Garibay. As Clace will try to limit the damage here. Moss hits this one sharply past the second baseman. So a nice game here for Dean Moss, with 2 runs and a couple of hits. Pittsburgh up 4-1, top 9. Drew Jones has been the man of the hour, putting Moss around the bases and in the home. See if he can do it here. He's 2 for 3 with 2 ribbies. And Jones popped up. Carroll coming in. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Alex Amaya, 1 for 3 in his major league debut today. Aggressive batters, that one a diving catch. Nice job there, as that is the shortstop Anderson, who's made at least 2 great defensive plays today. And that'll bring in Arambide. aggressive hitting here as a rhombi hits sharply to third. De La Cruz gets the lead runner Moss, and so we'll go bottom line. Pittsburgh up 4-1. And it's Nick Mears returning his second stint with Pittsburgh to face Tovar, De La Cruz, and Urias. Some great defensive plays we've seen by Milwaukee to try to keep them in it. And we are going to bring in Garibay to be the defensive sub for Dean Moss. And so he'll come in and play right as Mears will face Tovar. And so Pittsburgh up 4-1. And that's a swinging strikeout by Tovar as De La Cruz, who has the only run of the day for Milwaukee, a home run into left center field. And I believe his last at bat as Cruz stepping in. 3-1, Mears falling behind. Don't want to see that happen, and you don't want to see the walk, but it is issued to De La Cruz. Urias has a single up the middle today. Struck out his last time up. Mears falling behind again, and he will walk him, and the tying run is at the plate. It's Antonio Anderson. Mears, not what you want to see here, as I may get some lefties going, maybe play some matchups. Mears has to settle down. 2-2 to Anderson. He strikes him out swinging on the fastball. And they're down to Curtis Mead, the first baseman, has a hit and a walk today. 2 on, 2 out. Pittsburgh up 3. And the pitch from Mears. And that's hit well, and that is going to get down at the feet of Kelly. The run will hold, and the bases will be loaded. And who will they be loaded for? Will there be a pinch hit situation? There will not. Scales will step in. Not their best bat. Surprised there's not a substitution here. He is a little worse against lefties, but not significantly so. He's over 2 today with a walk. We're going to leave Mears in. Rodriguez, the catcher, on deck. So, the winning run at home plate, I should say. Me, the tying run at first. And Mears struggling in his Pirates debut. So here is the pitch from Mears, 1-2 count. And he strikes him out swinging. And you can raise the Jolly Roger as the Pirates made it interesting, but hold on to an opening day 4-1. And a really impressive opening day for the Pittsburgh Pirates against a tough Milwaukee team. I think the NL Central favorites by far. Pittsburgh winning this one 4-1. Pirates 4 runs on 9 hits and no errors. Milwaukee 1 run. That was a De La Cruz home run, 4 hits and no errors. Check out the box score, the line score here. Ramirez, Moss, and Jones, really good meat of the order there, each with 2 hits. Ramirez 2 RBIs, that was his home run, number 1 of the season. Drew Jones with 2 doubles that brought in Dean Moss 2 times. So overall, limited strikeouts. I was pleasantly surprised by that. And check this out here. Top of the order, the Brewers 1-2-3 hitters in Carroll, Spence, and Tovar. A combined 0 for 12 in this one with 2 strikeouts. And so really impressive with what Pittsburgh did at the top of the order. De La Cruz had the home run. Couple of walks there by Mears. As we check out the pitchers, Christopher Cruz, excellent. 6 innings, 3 hits, just 1 run. Again, the De La Cruz home run, 2 walks and 6 Ks. Way was good. Feliz, really happy to see that. Mears had some struggles, but he got out of the jam he created, and so we'll tip our hat to him. As Chris Mokma, 8 innings in this one, almost 100 pitches, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, give up that home run to Ramirez. Clace was not maybe his best, but did well. 1 inning of scoreless relief. Player of the game was Christopher Cruz, and so happy with this one overall. Hoping to see some better results, and so not entirely sure when I'll check in next. Depends on how the season is going, as you guys know at this point, but hopefully this is a sign of things to come. I don't win many opening days, but happy to get the win here. So, want to thank you guys for watching. We'll come back as soon as I can. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll talk to you soon.